Hey Titans, I am Drew and this is Ashley Sheridan with us in our TitanTalks. Ashley is a former band member from Dream and now a social media influencer who discusses topics on body positivity, career journeys, and healthy living lifestyles. Hi Ashley.
Hi, beautiful.
How are you?
Doing awesome this morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. So how about we start off with telling everyone about yourself?
Okay. I'm Ashley Sheridan, used to be Ashley Poole, which is how a lot of people know me. I have twin toddlers now. I'm a stay-at-home mom and an MLM business with a health and wellness company called Arbonne, that I'm at the top 6% of the company in, heading towards the top 2%. You can go to earnings.r.com. That's something we have to say to make sure we're compliant. But I used to be in a girl band Dream when I was in my younger teenage years, and we sold 2 million albums by the time that I was 16, and it traveled the world, hit number 2 on the top charts with our album, number 1 with our single. So we had a lot of awesome success. And here we are today.
Yeah, it's so exciting. So where did you start in your career journey and how did you end up where you are now?
So being raised in a really small town, which is where Drew's from too, Blythe, California, we are literally in the middle of nowhere. So it takes about an hour an hour to 2 hours, depending on where you're going, to get to a bigger city. So we're in a really small bubble here. And being raised here is really awesome. It's a lot of farmland and a lot of like-minded people. But there's a lot of stuff that we don't get to experience, like certain types of food. Like I never had sushi before, before my girl group. I had never even heard of, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing, but like Stevie Wonder. There was only certain music that my parents would let me listen to. It was mostly Christian music. So I was just in a very tight bubble and it just never really fit in. So I started singing at 6 and just fell in love. And everyone was like, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to do? And I was like, I'm going to sing. And so I got a lot of people who definitely self-doubted, but I just was a very, very strong-willed kid and kind of put my blinders on. And I ended up doing an audition for this girl group. And one thing led to another, and we ended up being, one of the first girl groups ever that P Diddy, ever signed, and became a overnight success. So yeah, pretty much my story as far as that goes. And after that, the Dream disbanded 6 years later, and sort of multiple disbanded because we got a new member. And I started to do a solo career. After my solo career, I was ready to start a family with my husband. We'd been together since I was 19. And so I didn't want to be in the music industry anymore. So I retired from the music industry and we started a family, which is a longer story. And now my 2 beautiful children are here, my twins. And then I started a health and wellness company, or I started up partnering with a health and wellness company with Arbonne. And it's going really well, and I love it so much. So that's where I am today.
That's super awesome, Ashley. Yeah, that's so cool. So in your career journey, what would you do differently if you were starting in your music industry again? Because I know that you were really young. So would you do anything differently or go about it in a different way?
I don't think I would go about it in a different way because I was a child. So it was just, for lack of better words, balls to the walls. It was just, I didn't know anything. I was just running with it. I learned a lot of amazing lessons, but one of the main lessons that I learned in that career that is passed down into my life now is basically breaking a fear-based mindset and being able to take control and have empower myself and be able to have whatever dreams that I want. I see that it says the connection is unstable. We both live in life, so our internet is not the greatest.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, I wouldn't change anything. I'm not really one of those people who really believes in like regrets. I think it's always a learning experience. So there's not much I would change. I think I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Cool. So with this fear-based mindset that you put in place, what do you do to go on to your next journey with this fear-based mindset?
So basically fear is something I'm really passionate about. I talk about it a lot. I speak about it a lot. Fear is basically convincing your mind that there's a result and you haven't had the experience yet, if that makes sense. So it's like, oh, I want to go work out at the gym, but I'm just so scared that everyone's going to judge me or whatever that is. Or I really, really want to be a singer, but like, I don't think my mom's going to like it or whatever outside experiences are and people are telling you or you're feeling, and maybe you're even prejudging them and don't even know how they actually feel, it will hinder you from being able to do what you actually want to do. Because there's going to be a chance that you're going to strike out. Not everything that you do in your life is going to be a home run, but that's life. So trying to do something doesn't mean you're going to succeed, but without trying and putting in effort for things, you're never going to know what you're capable of or what you're made of, or even like what you may or may not like. I know so many people who get into careers that they think is like where they want to be. Like, I want to be in real estate, or I want to be a doctor, and they start doing it and they hate it. And they put so much time, money, effort into this because they thought it was what they wanted, but most likely they didn't stop and check in with themselves first, like really sit down and say, like, am I going to go live outside of my fears and just try a bunch of things and see what I like? They're most likely doing it because they're trying to please someone or someone's, many people. So I'm very, very passionate about it because with me being in that girl group as a very young kid, I mean, I can't even tell you how many people told me I was crazy or stupid or whatever. But because I just didn't let their fears project on me, right? I ended up putting my blinders on and going for it. And that's always, since that moment, and because I've had success with it, I've always lived my life that way. I went to nail school after I retired because I thought it was smart to have something in my back pocket that was at my own leisure, that I could create my own schedule. I always loved crazy, wild nails. Was I passionate about doing nails? Not as much, but I felt like that was like something I could have, and I do. So if anything were ever to come up, even if I was like 60 years old and for some reason we needed money and we didn't know how to make it, and let's just say we just didn't have the money that we needed, I could go back to that. But it's because I don't live in fear of what other people think of me. I had a lot of people saying, oh, look at her, she's doing nails now, from pop star to nails. I don't care. I don't care because living my life, and I'm the only person who's going to be in my own body. You're the only person that's going to be in your own body. So if you're living your life based on what you think other people think you should be doing or should not be doing, then you're not really living for yourself, are you? You know?
Yeah. I find that fear-based mindset super insightful. I feel like it would be something that like students in college right now would be super beneficial to like think about, because it's just like you just want to do what you want to do because you never know what's going to happen, right? So this kind of falls into what we've been oh, sorry, go ahead, sorry, did you have to say something?
No, go.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
bring it on.
This falls into what we're still talking about, but what would be 3 things you would tell someone starting in the business that you're in now, or your music industry past as well, or just like starting any
but I tell them
journey?
what?
3 things you would tell someone starting in their like career journey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually have let me see if I can pull up. I actually have a list that I actually teach a lot of people are entering a career, but it's 7 actually, but they're super simple. But if you guys have pen and paper, put out real quick, because this is, so if you have a big dream, or you have a dream, let's say it is that you want to lose 10 pounds. Let's say that you want to be the president of the United States. I don't care how small the dream is, whatever your dream is, and we have multiple levels of dreams, right? We have multiple things, like I want to own a home, I want to do whatever, I want to get my degree. Okay, whatever that dream is, this is how you get it. Step 1 is addressing your ego. That's the first thing that you have to do. You have to address your ego, because your ego is what stimulates your fear-based mindset. So your ego, you guys, your ego is similar to fear in that it's a form within our minds that we are identifying with. I'm reading this really quickly. Typically egos within, typically egos live within your mind as an image of yourself and your expectations of other forms around you. So have you ever been driving your car and someone cuts you off and you get all mad and you're upset with them? It's because you had an expectation that person wasn't going to cut you off. That's your ego. That is your ego saying, I expect this to be right. So the first thing you want to do is address your ego, and there's lots of books and Google, and so much stuff out there for you guys to learn about that. I give my ego a name. Her name is Salty. So every time Salty comes up, listen, Salty, we're just not going to do that. I'm not going to get into higher and lower frequencies, but I do believe in that, and I think it's a good definition, whether you believe it on whatever scale that is, whatever definition, how some people believe in God, the universe, whatever you call it. I always want to make sure I'm trying to vibrate on the highest frequency possible, meaning I don't want to let myself, my emotions and my mind and everything to be brought down to a lower level. I want to be at a higher level of being loving and kind and patient. So I asked my little Salty, oh, no, you're not going to bring me down to that lower frequency. So that's my step 1 as far as attaining my dreams, because once I've addressed my ego, I can sort of basically address my fear. The second thing I tell people to do is to ask the universe. Literally ask the universe, okay? So you're a Christian and you believe in prayer, whatever your zhuzh is, okay? So you want to ask the universe, say it out loud, meditating, praying. Say to them, I want $5,000. I want to get my degree. I really, really want this new dog. I don't know what your dream is, what your big or small dream. Literally sit down, meditate on it, and ask the universe. Say it out loud. I also encourage people, when you have a dream, especially if it's not attained yet, to say it. Tell everyone. Tell everyone, I'm going to be getting my degree in 1 year. I'm going to be the president of the United States. Okay, obviously that's a bigger one, but whatever it is, say it out loud. Tell everyone what you're doing. Send in the movement for things to come your way while you're asking for it. Step 3, this one's a big one that everyone likes to skip, okay? Work hard consistently without excuses, okay? So that sounds really like a big spanking to a lot of people, and they don't really like it. Okay, chill out. I want to sit down and watch my TV, and I need time for that too. Okay, what that basically means is, are you empowering yourself? So when we make excuses, like in my business with my health and wellness business, right? I make my paycheck, I must earn, I must do good in my sales so I can get commissions on those sales. You also have a team beneath you that works that you make a commission on their sales. Go to earning.arbonne.com if you'd like to learn more. If my team is not working, if they just are having issues, maybe their dad died, maybe they're not in the mood, whatever, maybe they don't hustle as hard as I do. Do I blame my team and make excuses that oh my gosh, and be upset with them? No, that doesn't serve me and that doesn't serve them, right? I have to be the hardest working person in the room if I'm going to lead anyone. I have to lead myself before I lead anyone else. So instead of making excuses for what my personal goals are, because if I have a goal in sales or a number or a paycheck that I'm trying to reach, it's not my team's job to get me there. It's my job to get me there, right? So eliminating your excuses and stop blaming everyone else for what's not happening for you empowers you. It's not a big spank, it empowers you. It gives you all the control. So if someone steers you the wrong direction, go, okay, guess I should have done my homework more, right? That gives you power. So that's the third one. And work hard. Be the hardest working person in the room. 4 is gratitude. This is a big one that a lot of people like to skip as well. So gratitude means focusing on what you have and what you don't have. How many of you are focusing right now on like, I want this, I want a new car, I don't have enough money, like all my other friends are they're buying Grubhub and I can't afford Grubhub, or like whatever is happening in your life that you're looking at that you don't have, how is that serving you? How is that making you elevate your life? It doesn't. Focus on what you have. Like whether it's just the fact that you like have top ramen right now, or you know that you're here watching this, like this is so great, I have an opportunity to learn and grow. Like focus on your gratitude of what you have. This mindset helps you to stay in a positive and gives your mind a positive environment. It helps you to vibrate on those higher frequencies. Step 5, correct your environment. What I mean by that is, who are you around? So we're all human beings. Whatever we're taking in, every single thing that we take in is with us. So what's around you? What people are you surrounding yourself with? If you have a goal, big goals, whatever that is, like I want to make $1 million. Okay, how are you going to make $1 million? That sounds beautiful, wonderful, creative. I love all the creativity and all the dreams in the world. How are you going to do that? Your environment. Surround yourself around hardworking people. Surround yourself around big dreamers, people that are like doing startups and wanting to do business, whether like starting a blog or starting their cooking show or whatever it is. Like surround yourself around people that are not going to project their fears onto you, but are going to project faith onto you. So that's a big, big, big one. Step 6 is self-growth. Okay. So when I was in Dream and I was 13, coming from this small town we had no musical theater, we had no acting, nothing like that. These other 3 girls that were in my group had experience on those levels. They were in a bigger city. They were tapped into a lot more experience with being a professional singer than I had been, or a professional entertainer. I had to work 100 times harder than them to keep my spot. They tried to fire me 3 times. Once because I had a hunchback in pictures. I didn't know how to take pictures. Once because my singing was off pitch and I just wasn't a naturally great pitch singer. And the third one was because I couldn't dance. And when I say couldn't dance, I mean they literally, no lie, had to teach me how to snap on beat. It was really, really bad. What they loved about me, why I got into the group in the first place, was because I was like, hi, I'm Ashley. I was just I seemed fearless. They loved my energy. So I was not qualified. I want you guys to hear this so much. So often we stop ourselves from doing our dreams because we think we're not qualified enough. It's not about that. It's the energy you're bringing or how you're making people feel. I made people feel happy and alive and excited. And man, who is this girl? It made people feel some type of way that they wanted to see it again, even though I was 100% not qualified. But I put in the work, okay? So the self-growth game for me, we did 8-hour dance rehearsals. We did 3-hour vocal rehearsals on top of all of the other things that we had with photo shoots, radio interviews. I didn't know how to interview. All of this stuff was so bad. I mean, I slurred my words. I still do. You'll notice that I'm not a big, I don't talk very clear all the time. It's just how, my dad, like Drew does, you have to like watch his hands, sign language to understand what he's saying. So I've come a long way, believe it or not. But the self-growth game. So wait, are you reading podcasts? Are you listening to podcasts that are about the field that you want to be in? Are you reading books about the field that you're in? Are you working harder than everybody else in your self-growth to try and get what you want? When I went home from my 8-hour dance rehearsals, guess what I did? I did more dance rehearsals for myself in the mirror. I did more singing rehearsals for myself. I would practice songs over and over. I sleep, eat, bled, dream. And this is when I was 13, you guys. So
wow.
I got older and I kept working harder and harder on my body, my mind, my singing, my everything. so that they wouldn't fire me. They tried to fire me 3 times. Each time I was like, no, I'll figure it out. Don't worry. And I worked hard and I just did my self-growth game, right? And even though the other girls went home and they were able to watch TV and hang out and eat bonbons, I couldn't do that because otherwise I was going to be fired. So I worked harder and just made sure that I didn't lose my lottery ticket, right? That was literally just choice and decision. Just a decision. Did I know it was going to work out? Nope. Could I get sent home any day? Yep. So that's the point. You need to be working on self-growth. And that goes hand in hand with what I said earlier about being hardworking consistently. You've got to do it on the days that are hard. The days that you don't want to do something are the most important days of your life. The days you don't want to go to the gym, the days you don't want to wake up early, the days you don't want to do what you've already done and you feel defeated, those are the days you do it. Those are the days where you show up for yourself. For yourself. I went off on self-growth because that one is like my fave and it's the most important.
No,
it will
awesome.
help you level up. The last one is step 7. I love this one, you guys. So we all have fears. Fear is not going to go away. So let's be clear about that. When I talk about a fear-based mindset, it's a practice. It's a self-growth practice. So whenever I have fear, let's say for my health and wellness business, and we do reach outs. We don't do cold reach outs. We don't do reach outs that are annoying, like, hey girl, have you heard of Arbonne? I connect with people because I'm here with a servant's heart. I want to know if Arbonne can serve you and if it can make your life better. So I connect with people. But if I'm afraid to talk to someone who I know would either kill this business or it would help them so much with their depression or their anxiety or their weight loss or whatever, even though I'm afraid to talk to them, I do the 5-second rule. So guys, this rule is so amazing. It's empowering. So when you're afraid of something and you know you need to do it, like let's say I like using the gym a lot. That's a really good one because we all like to be healthy and know that it's an important part of our life. But sometimes it'll get in the way of like, I don't want people to see me in the gym or like whatever it is. Or like, I just don't know if I can do it. I give myself a 5-second
totally
rule.
Me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. And then you just do it. No thinking. Oh, let the overthinking go. Let the fears go. You just do the 5-second rule. So when I'm trying to do my reach out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, guess what? I did it. I didn't die. I'm okay. It's not that big of a deal. You'll move on. So those are and I know that was probably a little longer than you expected because you asked for 3, but this is something that I teach any person that comes into my life that I'm leading because they are really, really awesome, important keys that just help you to like get from your dreams being a dream to reality. So those are your keys.
Yeah, I think those 7 steps to following your dreams are pretty awesome. You kind of answered the third question about your number one key to success, unless you have like a number one. But yeah,
number
if
one
you want
success.
Yes.
That's a good question. That's a hard question, actually, I feel. Because the number one key to success, I don't even think I actually did put it in there, is being the number one key to success is where your heart lies. So the number one key to success, I would say, is to have a servant's heart. So I guess it does start with the first one of checking your ego. So if we're doing everything for ourselves and we're not impacting, right? Actually, I wrote this down, the impact over impress and service over performance. I actually heard that on a podcast. But I love that. Impact over impress, service over performance. So when we go into anything in our life and it's selfish based, right? Again, it's my health and wellness business. If I'm going to people saying like, hey, have you heard of Arbonne? I'm basically saying, can I have your wallet? Nobody wants that. That is not a way to success. So Tony Robbins talks about this too a lot, you guys. He talks about making sure that when you're going into any form of business or career that you are thinking about the other person. So making sure that your heart is not in the space of like about you, whether it's your fears, whether it's anything, like let's make it about them. If you make it about someone else, they're more than likely to become a part of your circle in whatever whatever way that you're trying to get them there.
Yeah, that's super awesome. So let's talk about, here's a fun question. What does a typical day in your week look like?
Well, very organized. So my kids just started daycare. Thank you to Arbonne for that, for being able to help provide me for that.
And they are super cute, by the way. If anyone has seen them, you can see them on Instagram.
But go to earnings@arbonne.com. I'm sorry I have to say that so much, but we just are very into being compliant. So a day looks like for me, I wake up usually between 4:30 and 5 a.m. And I start with my detox tea and fizz. Today was a late day. I had my insomnia really bad last night, but usually I wake up between 4:30 and 5, and I get up and I do my meditation and affirmations every single morning. Then I do a little workout, 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what the video that I'm doing that day. Because right now I'm doing Payo. And then what I do after that is I do something called Miracle Morning. If you guys are looking for, I think I have it right here, this book, Game Changer. Like, game changer. Every millionaire does this. Like, this is like a really, really amazing book. It will change your life. So basically you start your day off and you get your morning done before, your whole day done before your day really starts. And so it helps you set up for success. After I do my Miracle Morning, then I shower, get ready for the day. Then my kids wake up around 6:30 and I get them ready for daycare. We go to daycare by 8, and then I work. I work from 8 to 12, go pick them up, come back home, work from 12:15 all the way until my husband gets home and the kids wake up at 2. And then after that, it's mommy time. It's just mommy and playing and having a good time with my babies. They're so much fun right now. Like, they're the best. And then after that, it's calls. A lot of it is like self-growth and stuff with Arbonne, but some of it is, to invite people in to learn about it. And then after that, it's just dinner with the hubby, and I'm exhausted and I go to sleep.
That's a busy day.
But in the summer, it'll be the swimming pool, and I'll be working from my phone on the swimming pool, in the swimming pool.
Yeah, your job seems pretty cool that you can work from home and do like so much with your family and everything else,
Yeah, we should touch on that, but I know you have more questions.
So which people have had the most influence on your growth and why? And it could be multiple people.
Oh, Drew, that's a good
I know.
question.
We're getting deep here.
Getting deep. Okay. So can you say it to me one more time? I just want to hear it really good.
Okay. Which people have had the most influence on your growth and why? And it can be more than one person.
It's just so good. So first, I'm going to have to say my mom. Maybe I should save her for last. But my mom and I are like twins, but we also collide sometimes and explode. But my mom is superwoman. Like, she has always had like a full-time job. When she was younger, she was making like the same amount as my dad. She's always been into like her health and her fitness. Her house is always immaculate. She is like the most bright, beaming, shining star when she walks into a room. Drew knows this. She's like a personality you gravitate towards. Like, people gravitate towards Velda. Her name's Velda, which is so unique too, which I love about her. But she is just this like impossibly like perfect person sometimes. Not perfect in like purebred Pollyanna kind of way, perfect in like, how do you do all this stuff? You look amazing, you're so fun, you're all these things. But my mom is also one of the people who guided me through Dream. She was the parent that was on the road the most with us, and she was so real and raw. She's what has taught me how to be a woman in this world. So like, she's not afraid to say what she needs to say, and she doesn't care if it comes out correctly. She's just gonna like put it out there. And I learned so much from her about that as a woman, because being a woman, even back when I was growing up, was a lot different than it is now. And because of her, I sort of did it a little differently than a lot of other people. And I sort of didn't have that fear-based mindset in the female aspect of things that we think that we have to do and look like and be. Like my mom just taught me like, hey, find your effort and do it, you know? So she was just that person. So she has definitely obviously molded me in more ways than I can describe. Another person that comes to mind, and this is not actually somebody that I favor anymore, but the impact that she had on my life was on a very large scale. So when I was going to be getting fired and all these things, we had a choreographer named Lorianne Gibson. You guys may know who she is. She's on like tons of TV shows now, and she's like super famous. She had some definitely, I don't want to say abusive, that's a little harsh, but for kids and teenagers, there was definitely moments that probably weren't appropriate. Not probably, they weren't. She treated us almost as if we were adults. And in some ways, I know that was her protecting us, because when you're going into the music industry, nobody's going to give you like, oh, you're a kid, like let's treat you with kid gloves. Nobody treated you with kid gloves. So sort of that was preparing us for what was about to happen. But at the same time, the industry needs to change on that, because we were kids. But she literally would preach to me and speak life into me, and she believed in me. And she didn't always with the other girls. I will say I was favored. They all knew that too. But because of her, she would like literally like tell me like, Ash, if you work hard enough, you'll be fine. You'll get there, and you can surpass the dreams that you even have now. So she was a really big, she changed my brain in the way I thought about things. She's the one who helped me, literally was another catapult to helping me smash fears. The last person that I can say that has like been the most impactful, this is gonna be so cheesy, you guys. Most impactful are my children. When you have kids one day, and some of you may already have them, and I'll get emotional talking about this, they mirror you a little bit, but they're so starting this brand new, pure blank slate of life. And they sort of train you in a way. I know that you're parenting them and guiding them, but to have children is challenging, to say the least. But to be a part of someone's life, like I want to say this correctly. So like we live on this floating rock in space, right? Which is a miracle. We're all miracles that we're even here. I had to go through 3 different miscarriages and 2 rounds of IVF infertility treatments to get my babies. So even they're like an even crazier miracle, because out of 40 embryos, I only got 4 healthy embryos, and we put in 2 to hope that 1 would stick. So they're like really miracles, right?
Yeah.
Just to be a part of this life. It's not my life. I'm a witness to it. So to be a part of it is the most impactful thing to me, like literally selfishly to me as a person, not even just as a mom. It's the biggest self-growth game you'll ever have. It tests you on every level. But I have to say, as much as you see memes and funny stories on TikToks about moms losing their minds, and yes, that's fun, and it's a community where we're just trying to like relate to each other. At the same time, those difficult days, hours, minutes that you're dealing with is also showing you who you are, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how are you going to handle these temper tantrums that are happening 24/7, and then you have all these other things you do as an adult, blah, 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 blah. It really does show you what you're made of. So as cheesy as it sounds with my kids, it's the coolest thing ever. And I do feel really humbled to be a part of their life, to be able to witness these lives and be able to help navigate and, be the bumpers. But I also am highly aware that whoever and whatever they want to be is not my business, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's very strange. It's the craziest love where you feel like it is your business. Like, no, what you do is about me, but it's not. So that is the most impactful people in my life.
Thank you for sharing that. I find that very impactful, and that's super awesome. That how you explain everything, it just like Sorry?
You're going to be such a good mama.
Oh. um, so now we're gonna move on and talk more about your self-empowerment and body positivity platform. Can we talk more about how you teach self-empowerment on your platform? I know I see your super fun TikToks on Instagram, and just all your posts are just super fun, and I find them very
entertaining.
Entertaining, but also it boosts my confidence as well. So I just was yeah.
Okay, well, you just made my day. That makes me happy. That's literally why I do them. So I am going to talk about my mom for a sec before we get into body positivity, because I think it's important to know why I do what I do. When you're an entertainer and you started as an entertainer as a very young kid, some people think you're just looking for attention. And yes, I am looking for attention. Like, I would like your attention, please. Hello, are you watching? Are you listening? I have things to say, but not attention in the sense of the negative connotation that people think of it as. My mother, who is my soulmate, who I love more than life itself, and is the most beautiful human being on the planet, also grew up in a different time where, and all of her sisters are the same way, where diet culture was extreme. And up until her 50s, she had finally really found out about true health and wellness. So all of that time was calorie counting. I watched her do soup diets. I watched her not eat dinners. I watched her do very, very unhealthy things. She didn't really work out properly. She would go running, and that was it. But it was always about the vanity and how she looked, not always about how she felt. And we are always watching as children, our parents. And this is no condemning my mom or anything. We're all doing the best that we can with what we have. And she definitely loves me to the ends of the earth and back, to the moon, to the universe. But watching that really mess with my head. And then being in Dream, where literally P. Diddy would sit down and tell us in a line, you need to lose 5 pounds, 3 pounds, 2 pounds, 1 pound. Like, how do you know I need to lose 1 pound? Is it in my earlobe? Like, what are you talking about? So that was the type of thing that they felt comfortable telling teenage girls about their bodies. I mean, you guys are growing up in a very different world, where Lizzo is popular and Nicki Minaj, and like, I don't even probably know half the names that you guys know, but I know you know those two. But where, you know, the bigger the butt, the Kardashians, like, we're embracing more of different types of bodies, not just bigger sizes, but just different types, all shapes. And it's not just this pencil thin idea. And not that there's anything wrong with that either. There are plenty of people whose bodies are just naturally that way as well, or they want to be that way. So my point is this: growing up in that headspace, it messed with me. So I was praised for being skinny, right? And then condemned if I was fat, which what is fat? So as I got older, I realized, just like there's like lots of memes and funny TikToks and things like that out there about this, about how we never enjoyed our bodies. We didn't enjoy it 5 years ago. We thought we were fat, and we look back and wish we were that size. We didn't enjoy it 10 years ago. We thought it was fat, and now we wish we were that size. Okay, so one day I woke up and I was like, Ashley, because I've done a lot of self-growth, and I realized that I have so much more control of my mind, my mindset, my life. No one else's opinions matter because I'm the only one walking and breathing and living in my own body. What life do you want to have? Do you want to keep not feeling good in your skin? Like, you know, you may never choose or want to be the workout queen and stuff again. Like, maybe you want to, maybe you like your wine and your pizza and have a balanced lifestyle. And that's going to come at a cost of having some more cellulite and having some rolls and not being that perfect quote unquote body that I You there?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yes.
Okay. Still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Because it's so windy today, so I know it's going to mess with the internet.
I know. I woke up and last night I heard the wind and I was like, oh,
It was wild.
no. It's supposed to be windy for the next week. Sorry?
Where did we leave off?
You were telling us how you asked yourself, about how some people enjoy drinking wine and eating pizza, but it comes with sometimes you have to have that balanced life.
Right. So basically, one day I realized that I needed to take control of my life, and I want to look back at pictures and think positively about myself as is, and I want to be able to be in my skin and enjoy being in my skin, because life is really about enjoying it and not feeling that you're less than because of A, B, C, and D. Now, is health important? This is why I love Arbonne so much, because it's brought me an awareness and an awakening, and they're part of the reason that I am body positive, because they were the first program that I did that was not hyper focused on diet culture. They would even tell me, I'd be like, I want to lose weight. They're like, we call it weight management. I'm like, never heard of that. I'm really excited. Like, am I going to be able to do this program and like lose a bunch of pounds? And they were like, well, you're going to find out a lot about your own body. We call it intuitive eating. And it was all so new to me, but it was so amazing. So through Arbonne, their self-growth game that I've had, their 30 Days to Healthy Living program that changed my whole world. I got my gut health right. I realized to feel good in your skin is about a balance of being healthy, taking care of your health and how you feel, not how you look, how you feel. Do you have energy, brain clarity? Like, all that stems from your gut health. Do you have serotonin levels that are raised? That stems from your gut health. So that's what our program does. Having how I feel is great. I'm an energized mom. I'm happy in my life. Now, does the mirror project this perfect quote unquote body? No, not all the time. But I love my body now. I love my body because it's strong. It made 2 babies at the same time. It has been through so much, so much, especially as a woman. I don't know how many women you have that are going to be watching this, but hey, you need to literally pat yourself on the back every single day of your life for what you go through. Our menstrual cycle since we were young, the ideas in the media, and how people have trained and programmed us to think about ourselves. It's time to just get rid of that thinking. It really is time for you to decide for yourself what definition you want to have for yourself. So when I talk about body positivity, it's not to shame people like my mom who have goals of she has 8-pack abs. She's in her 60s. That is also applauded, in my opinion. Your body is your business. It is no one else's business, not even your own boyfriend, husband, girlfriend. It's no one's business but your own. That is what you own. You own this meat suit. So you have to sit down and really decide what's working and not working for you. That's what body positivity is really, really about. It's not so much just about showing your rolls and your dimples, although and your tiger stripes. Those are applauded and brave and helpful to other people to feel confident about themselves who are still working through those things. But it's not so much about that. It's really about your mindset. It always, 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 from everything we've talked about on this whole call, goes back to your mindset. So when you get that mindset by practicing, I didn't say this and I wanted to, but practicing your mindset. It will not happen overnight. By starting, how I started body positivity when I said, okay, I need to change something. I started doing affirmations, looking at myself in the mirror naked or with, my undergarments, and just saying, wow, you're so beautiful. I love your dimples. And even though at first I didn't really believe it, eventually I got to the place where I was so confident and I sort of broke down this body dysmorphia because I really thought I was way bigger than I was or whatever. And I really realized that my perception is my reality. And as I change my perception, my reality becomes different. So It's about putting forth the action to change mindsets, because we are all born with fixed mindsets that were programmed. Every single one of us is programmed, and some of that programming is awesome and will work for you in your life, and some of it is not working for you in your life. And for the programs that are not working for you, it is your job and no one else's. You can blame, you can say, well, my parents did this, so this is why I am. And that's all great to have self-awareness and realization as to why you are the way you are, but it still doesn't give you any level up or service to yourself if you aren't taking responsibility on making those changes that you want in your life. So that's my body positivity spiel.
Yeah, that's super, so cool. I see what you do on Instagram, and obviously I know who you are, and I just know how awesome your personality is. And this is just like you're just like so good at what you do. I know, it's just like, yeah, I love you too, actually. Okay, so now that we've talked about self-empowerment, body positivity, what would you tell a college student right now in our current time, dealing with everything and Zoom classes and the pandemic and,
Yeah. Okay. Your professor's not going to like this one. Sorry, professor. I would say to take the pressure off and find what you really like. You cannot say, I love tea and I hate coffee if you've never tried coffee or you never tried tea, right? So make sure during these young formative years that you have, right, where if for those of you who don't have families yet, meaning you haven't started your own family, and even if you have, you still need to do this, but I'm saying this, that at this age, most people for the most part haven't. You have an opportunity, and it's this window of time to really just paint. Not paint great, maybe it's great, but just paint, try, create. This is your creative years. This is when you should be trying everything. I did my solo career after Dream ended, and I spent $100,000, you guys. Borrowed that money from my parents, paid it back when I sold my condo, which was my dream money. That's all we got. I had this ghetto condo in Van Nuys. By the way, I heard the word ghetto is over now, but I'm so old. So I sold that and gave every dime to my parents to pay them back. So I didn't do anything. My solo career did not take off the way I wanted it to, but you guys, I tried. I had a blast. I did everything that I wanted to do. And I'm not saying you need $100,000 to chase your dreams. That's just what I was using in my life that I had. I'm saying that I did not walk the straight beaten path. Okay. I'm not saying that you shouldn't walk this straight and narrow path if that is what your heart desires. I know people who love office work. Like, they love organization. They love doing the paper. Like, they love having someone else tell them what to do, and they like to come in and they love their work environment and their friends. Great. If your heart is soaring, I'm happy. But are you going out there and facing your fears? I mean this so much. Forget about what your mom thinks. Forget about what your best friend thinks. Forget about what your dog thinks. I don't care what is stopping you from trying to do the things that you want to do. I don't know if you're maybe dealing with your sexuality and you're worried about it. Whatever it is, you can't be somebody that you're not. You can pretend, but you can't actually be that person. So if you're not trying these things and painting your own vision, then you're not really living for yourself, are you? So my advice to everyone is, I'm so happy that you're here and you're on this call, and I don't know what you're in college for, but this is also the time for you to travel, and well, not during the pandemic, but for you to go and find out who you are and what you're really made of. Again, I know the professor may not feel the same as me, and this may not have been the answer that they wanted to hear, and it doesn't mean to quit school tomorrow or anything like that, but just make sure that whatever you're doing right now is really what's making your heart sing, because this is the time to do that. This is the time to figure that out. And not that there's a time limit to figure things out, because I'm going to be 36 this year, you guys. And I just started my health and wellness business last year and have never been happier in my life. So And I was a pop star, so some people might go, what? But it's not anyone else's business but my own. It's about what makes me happy, right? So there is no time limit. But what I am going to say is in my 20s, homies, I was painting and I have zero regrets because I didn't sit back and wait for someone else to tell me it was okay to do my dreams. There is no Santa Claus. He's not coming. I'm sorry if I broke that secret to anybody, but there is nobody coming to save you. And I really hope that out of everything we've talked about today, this is the one thing you grab onto, is this is what is going to save you, is that no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to give you your dreams, tell you what to do. There's no epiphany that's going to happen. There is no magical fairy or magical time that it's going to be right. There's only you making decisions to listen to a podcast, decisions to show up to class, decisions to be better or worse. These are all simply decisions you get to make because you're this miracle on this floating rock in space. So that's freaking exciting and it's freaking empowering. It's empowering to be able to know that like you do get to make the decisions. So go paint as wild as you want. Go do it. Hoorah!
Yeah, I feel like you have always felt that way because I remember before I even came to college, I was driving you somewhere, and you were just like, yeah, and you were just like, just do whatever you want to do, Drew. Just go have fun and be crazy and maybe do something bad. Or I told my mom and she told you that, and I said, yeah. So yeah, I
definitely be safe because I love you so much.
Oh yeah, and being safe at the same time. But yeah, I definitely like this idea of like facing your fears and doing something even though you're scared of it, but also painting. I like that idea of like painting. So let's do some fun speed questions. So I'll just ask you some questions and then you can just answer. So are you still singing or making music?
Sort of, but no, not full-time or anything significant. There's a little app called Voicey, and it's really fun to play around with. I'm a songwriter at heart more than anything, and so I get to write my little snippets because I don't really have as much time as I used to because I dedicate that towards my business and my children, so it takes up most of my time. But if I have times like this where I'm like, I'll do anything I can write in an hour.
Yeah. Do you know what your sign is? Your zodiac sign?
Oh, duh. I'm a Taurus through and through. Total bull. 100. Do you know your enneagram is really the question.
What was that?
Your enneagram.
Do you know your enneagram?
My enneagram is 8, and I'm a straight 8. I have no wings. But do you know your enneagram?
No, I don't know.
Oh, girl. Everybody out here, after you get off this call, go search enneagram. It's ENN. something enneagram quiz, and it's wild. My husband, I made him do it literally 2 days ago on our drive back home from out of town, and he was so poo-pooing on the idea, oh, there's just a personality test, they don't know what they're doing, it's not science. Blah. I was like, okay, well, let's just do it, let's just see if it's right. And he did it, and it was like nail on the head, and he was like, whoa. Enneagrams are really awesome, and they can change, but I love enneagrams. Okay, continue.
Favorite color?
Color. Oh my God. Black.
Oh my gosh,
Black's
Ashley.
color. I mean, black all day, man.
Well, your hair looks great though, by the way. I love the red.
Thanks.
Or orange.
Buns.
Yeah, super cute. Favorite song from your band?
Ooh.
Or one of your albums?
New or old? The new album that's sort of released, or the old album?
If you have, maybe both. Do both.
Okay. So from the first album, it would probably be oh my God, why am I forgetting the name? Oh, hello, Mr. Telephone Man. But that's because I sang it, and it's totally like my ego. But I made the album by myself. Mr. Telephone Man. And then for the second album, we did 2 songs. Oh, sorry, I have to give you 2. One was called That's Okay. I wrote half of the second album, so that was awesome. But the song called That's Okay, and then another song called Why Me. Now, Why Me is like, if you listen to it, it's still me. It's that fear-based breaking all the fears. It's fun.
And then I feel like I might know this answer, maybe, but favorite movie/TV show?
Well, TV show is Friends all day. Hello.
Oh, I was gonna say Sex and the City because you always had it on. You were always watching it.
I mean,
my mom does too.
It's high on the list, but Friends. My house looks like a Friends store. All my clothes, like people buy me Friends stuff all the time, and I love it. My favorite movie though is It's Complicated.
Okay.
I haven't seen it, but it's my favorite.
That's a cute movie. Okay, so that will be it for today. Thank you so much, Ashley, for giving us such insightful ideas of following our dreams and having this fear-based mindset and painting in our like prime years in college.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, Ashley, did you have anything else that you wanted to add? Any last comments or anything?
Really just tapped into everything, but I do want to say I love connecting with people, especially young people. You guys are thriving in your lives, so feel free to find me on social media at the.dream.mom. And then that's pretty much all, like my TikTok, all those things. But feel free to come find me because I love connecting. If you ever have any questions, I'm not somebody you need to be afraid of. I love helping other people. I also do want to tap into my health and wellness business really quick as my own plug, if you will, because I started it because I just needed to make some extra money to help my husband out. He was working 2 jobs, 7 days a week, and wasn't seeing the kids. So I needed to do it, and I was just thinking it would just be like a Band-Aid, for a little bit, and then I could go back to being a stay-at-home mom. But I ended up falling completely head over heels in love and found my new thing and my new passion. I know a lot of people have stigmas around MLMs, but it's changed so much as a business. This is not the 1980s where people are knocking down doors and selling people stuff they don't need or don't want. There are, of course, always going to be those people in the world that are not living their life with integrity in any business. That's any business in the world. But I really am passionate about sharing the business and the products with people because in 2020, the worst year we've had since the Great Depression, was able to build an entire business from my iPhone. We all have these $1,200 iPhones, and I literally just started sharing things that I was using. We are always all sharing things. Oh, I got new bedding. Where'd you get it? It's 20% off at Nordstrom's. I got a new cookware set. Oh my gosh, it looks so great. You can go get it at Home Goods. So whatever it is that we are consuming in our lives because of social media, we are constantly sharing and consuming from what our friends are doing and from what people we see are doing or influencers are doing. So what I always tell people is you're already sharing, you're already doing sales. I hate that word, but you're already doing that, but you're just not making a commission. So having a direct sales MLM in your back pocket is so smart in 2021. I have seen so many MLMs pop up in the last 3 years. I'm like, oh, what is this? It's new. So many, because it's the future of business. People are starting to become hip and realize that they can stay at home and do this, that they can build as much empires, build their dreams. Go to earnings@arbonne.com if you want to see typical earnings. But literally, this is not what it used to be. So I love sharing the opportunity with people because it doesn't have to be your full-time career. It could be your part-time gig, another stream of income. But here's the thing. Having multiple streams of income is important for everyone. We all need things to fall back on. And if 2020 didn't teach everybody that, then I don't know what to say. So I would love to talk to anybody who's curious about that, but I would also love to talk to any of you who are just having questions about the fear-based mindset or things like that. And I'm here to help. I love helping.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in this awesome discussion with Ashley. Don't forget to keep an eye out for more events in ASI like this and many others. You can stay up to date on our events by following us at ASI CSUS. Thank you, everyone. See you later.